Welcome to Year Endless. I am your host, William Ginsberg, joined by my co host, Courtney Chappell. On Year Endless, we delve into musical and personal history by diving into best of lists from print and online publications through the years. We continue our look at the Blender Magazine 100 Greatest Indie Rock Albums of All Time with number 49, the album Killed in Moonlight by the band Spoon. That was album released in 2002. So, Courtney.
Yes.
Do you know about Spoon?
I did not know about Spoon. And you may be surprised, our listeners will be surprised that I actually looked ahead and listened to some of the bands that I'm not familiar with. Spoon being the only one, frankly. Had never heard of them. I want to hear what you have to say first, but I am familiar at this point.
Okay. So I love Spoon.
Okay.
I think they are one of the great. They're definitely the best of all the bands on this list. They're one of the only ones still making great music.
Okay, yeah.
They're a really consistent band from album to album as far as quality, a level of quality control that sets them apart. The music that they play, it's the way they play. The songs are catchy, are well put together. The instrumentation is interesting. I've seen them twice, enjoyed both shows. I saw them in Atlanta and I saw them in Asheville. I'd like to hear what you thought.
Okay, I'm glad to know that you like them. Who is this band that's above the halfway mark that I've never heard of in my life? Which, I mean, that's not entirely impossible. And I put them on, and there's kind of like a Beatles-esque. I was like, they're British, definitely. Even the vocal style, and it was very, very catchy. I was like, is this indie rock? I feel weird for not knowing who they are, and you're right, they're still making music.
Yeah.
And it does sound consistent because I kind of perused a little piece of their catalog. Not even a hot take. It's just kind of annoying at this point, but I don't love the Beatles. It's very melodic. I don't go for melodic, catchy music as much.
Well, they actually are not British. They're actually from Austin, Texas.
Austin. That's what I learned.
I think my favorite album of theirs is not this one. It's, again, continuing the trend of the one they put on this list is not my favorite. I mean, this is a good choice for the one to put, but my favorite is Ga 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 Ga. They are influenced by krautrock.
Yeah.
Named after the song by Can from the 70s. It's not a terrible name, but it is kind of not the most exciting name either. The song it's named after is a really good song, so I mean that's
yeah.
I'll read the little blurb.
Okay.
An underrated indie rock gem about underrated indie rock gems. Hooray, slackers! On his bespoke cruise jittery breakthrough, singer Britt Daniel outlined a battle cry for the underdogs. Small stakes glorifies life on pop's ramen-fueled margins, and the jaunty, the way we get by, celebrates getting stoned and flying blissfully under the radar. Then, 1 year later, they showed up on the OC. Oh well.
The OC.
I never watched the OC.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
It was this nighttime soap opera with teenagers and stuff in like California and like Orange County.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like 90210.
Yeah, and like similar to that, I mean, they had band songs in there, so it'd be like someone in the music for it would use cool or somewhat cool indie rock bands.
Okay.
Number 48 is the album by the band Mission of Burma, album from 1982.
Yes.
Yes. I love this band.
I love them too.
Their original run was fairly short. Only one studio album, one EP that I didn't realize was an EP until preparing for this episode. I just assumed based on the amount of songs that it was like a full album.
Me too. You're talking about Signals, Calls, and Marches?
Yeah, Signals, Calls, and Marches.
I never knew that was an EP.
Yeah, because it had enough songs. It didn't seem like...
It seemed like I wanted more, But it's very much seems like a full album. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
Yeah, they're, I guess, the best Boston band, at least of like post-punk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Run cut short. The first run, at least, cut short because of one of the main members developed tinnitus from playing very loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roger Miller.
Yeah.
And
Um,
he's still around and doing things.
yeah. So they reunited in the 2000s and released a
That's
couple
right.
more albums, which I've not listened
Yes.
to. I've heard they're good. I just haven't listened to them. I kind of
I
like.
haven't listened either.
I think I do like Signal Calls and Marches better than Verses. I like Max Ernst. I mean, among all the other songs, I like that one too.
Yes.
Yeah, the painter.
And I like the painter too.
Yeah, I like his as well. Yeah, I found some well taking a 20th century German history. I'm planning to, I think, soon read the book, but apparently Mission of Burma is one of the bands covered in Our Band Could Be Your Life.
Oh, really?
It said so, at least online.
Okay. Huh.
Recently, I've been reading some sort of music history books, so I'm interested in, because it was recommended to me like 10 years ago. So I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm hoping to find it somewhere and actually read it and see. Maybe it'll change how I feel about some of these bands. Maybe maybe I'll make them like them more. I don't know. I'd probably recommend to our listeners. I mean, for this one, maybe That's How I Escape My Certain Fate, but I think Academy Fight Song would probably be the one I'd.
Yes.
You want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Number 47 is a band that I do not think of as indie rock, but did make me realize one of the preconditions for this list, for some of the ones who are on this list, is that it's bands that have an indie release before they got big and became an alternative rock subgenre. And that is the band Green Day with their release Kerplunk on Lookout Records from 1992. I'd never listened to Kerplunk. I knew about it until now. I hadn't listened to it, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds so much like what I like." I get it, okay. Like I see like why this got them signed this so well and got them signed to a major label, and they sold like millions and millions of albums.
Yes.
Like there wasn't like a big jump in quality from this to Dookie. They sounded ready for the success that they got. I'd have to do the same thing where I've listened to Dookie dozens of times in my life. I think you said in a previous episode you're not really into pop punk, or you just aren't into pop punk yet.
Oh, yeah, I know. Isn't that strange? This is a band. They kind of epitomize pop punk. They are California. I have a good friend who was friends with them coming up in the scene. This album, just being Dookie, was like the sellout album or whatever. Not really. They never truly sold out, but just that was their major label. But this was the OG album.
Yeah, it's not their debut, but it's their breakout before like the major label breakout. Yeah, because they were part of the San Francisco punk scene. They were accused by some in that scene of being sellouts. Then like Pages of Max when rock and roll. I mean, that was the scene that was very willing to call people sellouts for changing in any way.
Yes, it was.
Actually, there's a book that I was looking into that oral history of the San Francisco scene, so I'm interested in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Aaron Comet Bus and then my friend Cindy Crabb were like zine writers in that scene. That's interesting. I didn't realize there was a book. Oh, Aaron Comet Bus was actually their third drummer of Green Day, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, so the name of the book is Gimme Something Better: The Profound, Progressive, and Occasionally Pointless History of Bay Area Punk from Dead Kennedys to Green Day.
Okay.
I got into Green Day, or at least I got into Dookie, and I got into Dead Kennedys like around the same time. Because I had already heard American Idiot before I heard Dookie. Dookie was the first album I bought on iTunes. Kerplunk's good, but yeah, I think I have opinions on most of their different albums. I think Insomniac has some good songs. American Idiot has some cool stuff on it. Time of Your Life, that's so goopy. I can understand someone either loving that song or thinking it's the worst song ever. One of my good friends from college is a massive Green Day fan. Has like a Green Day tattoo. Green Day fan. Yeah, I think if any band was going to break through, and after grunge, any of these punk bands, I'm glad it was Green Day, the one who broke through. It was one of the cases where, like the best one is the one who breaks it through. The songwriting is, I mean, it's I mean, some of the songs are dumb, but there's some really good songwriting as well.
There's something they're dumb, but then it's like really anthemic. And it just really, I don't know, my high school by storm. When it do you say what do you say? We say Dookie, the
I
turd.
No, I mean it is that, but I don't know why I can't say it that way, even though that's like the more way.
Right.
I
But
don't
it's
know, but
just
it is
because it's
Dookie.
gross.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is gross. I don't know why. I mean, I guess
And
because
kerplunk is reference also to fecal matter
yeah,
falling into a
yeah,
toilet. Because that's just
yeah,
and that so that gives you a sense of the irreverence and the humor and the
yeah,
thing that Green Day kind of brings to the world. But yeah, it was incredible. It was like
but also they're
revolutionary.
Billy Joe Armstrong has talked about how much the Replacements, Paul Westerberg influenced his
Oh,
songwriting.
right. Okay, that
That
makes
if it
sense.
wasn't for the Replacements, he would have ended up in like some like shitty speed metal band. He would
Interesting.
never, yeah, brought a heartfelt song to it. I mean, there's a lot of songs about girls, but they're not angry songs about girls. They're like, I guess, I don't know, characters. I don't know. There's
No,
songs about people.
three-dimensional.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
three dimensional. It's not as simplistic as some of the dreck that would that would eventually arrive.
They were
Um,
surrounded by some really prominent punk feminists at the time, and I would
yeah,
like to include my friend again, Cindy Crabb, who wrote Dorothy, and is one of them. But also, she would talk about how they were really good guys. They were not jerks. They were really sweet. They had girlfriends. They were really nice to their girlfriends. She would kind of mention that sometimes. I don't know. It was very much the 90s punk scene. There's a strong ethics. It's not overtly political, but it is. It is overtly political, I suppose, but it's not without a sense of humor.
yeah. American Idiot in the 2000s when they got more directly political,
Very
but
political. I don't want to
very political.
almost a little
Uh,
heavy-handed in my opinion.
oh
And
yeah, all the songs that are political on American Idiot. I think for me, I think hearing that was that's where I was like, oh, thinking of things in a different way. I was like, I'll read the American Idiots before they were American Idols. Billy Joe Armstrong brimmed with goobery brashness as the bristling attention deficit tunes gave Sex Pistol riffs a cocky Cali sheen.
mhm.
Sex Pistol riffs. I don't know how much what band that was necessarily one of their influences.
I know.
I don't really hear it.
I don't either. I would say this seems very superficial. Maybe there's like their look was a little more short hair versus I don't hear it either. In a way, you could say that Sex Pistols was like a irreverent kind of pop.
I,
I don't see the correlation
yeah,
exactly.
I guess they're trying to sound British. His singing style is trying to
Like a
like
Johnny
like
Rotten kind of.
always it did amuse me that Green Day is an American band trying to sound like a British band trying to sound like an American band. It's just like a
Right.
back and forth. Okay, let's see.
Totally.
Speaking of bands that are from the UK, we have number 46 on this list,
Yeah.
Franz Ferdinand, their self-titled debut in 2004. I knew about Franz Ferdinand. I, in passing, listened to their album, but roll for praise, I did go, oh yeah, this is so good.
Yeah.
Very pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their song "Take Me Out" became just like a huge hit for like being in. I guess it was probably in an Apple commercial, an iTunes commercial. There's actually a quote from the lead singer Alex Capranos from the book "Meet Me in the Bathroom." As far as being part of the post-punk revival, they were one of the UK bands that came out of what they were reacting against as far as forming the band that they did. In fact, the band started over an argument we were having over bottled whiskey. My argument was that anybody that likes music can be a musician. Whether they'll be a good musician is a different story. So I said, "Come on, I'll show you how to play the bass. It's really not that hard." And then I think from one of the members of Together, this entire story is based on kids around the world being like, "Oh, I can do that now. You don't have to be able to play scales and put things together. We can just mean it." Back to Alex. What you like as much as a part of your makeup is what you don't like. And at that time, around 99 to 2001, there was a wave of artists who were performing just with laptops. Your whole weekend was spent watching some guy move a mouse around. That just epitomized everything I hate about live performance. This music that has technically quite revolutionary, it was quite fucking boring. Maybe not boring to listen to in certain circumstances, but as a performance, it was fucking awful. There was a wave, there was a lack of humanity, rawness, a lack of sweat and stink. There wasn't anything powerful about it. For us, there was a rebellion against that programming side of things. We used synthesizers, but we used crappy old Italian synths that we picked up at secondhand shops that you had to play by hand. We wanted to play it rather than program it. Transferring It is a band that you could dance to.
Yes. And what do you think about the name of the band as a history?
Oh, I mean, I love the name. It's the name of the Austro-Hungarian whose assassination, the spark that started the First World War.
First World War. Apparently, they were named, according to Wikipedia, I mean, it's not news. Well, they got the idea of their name from a racehorse that was some British or UK racing thing. Then they were like, the implications of it sparking the First World War, they thought it was the perfect name. And I was not really familiar with them. I'd heard of them. I thought they were an earlier band too. I put them in a place in my brain. I thought they were having like, because they were a revival, that maybe they were an older band that was reinventing themselves. But anyway, I was glad to learn about.
Yeah, they were one of the young bands that we're bringing back good rock.
Yes.
It wasn't like there wasn't good music being made. It's just the popular stuff was really bad.
Yes. Yeah. It's true.
It's just so much harder to know what is actually popular today.
I know I've heard this some creator, I think on TikTok talking about there's no counterculture, there are no subgenres, and there are only trends. I was like, man.
I mean, I'd say there's only like, I don't even say, I think there's only micro genres. There's two people in like completely different areas of the world making a particular, they make garage rock with like the Glocken. Totally. They'll be like Glockenspielchor for like a week, and then everyone will move on.
Totally.
But yeah, if there are any Glockenspielchor musicians out there,
please send us an email.
Yeah, send us an email. I'll read the blurb. By curious, by Scottish. Imagining the choppy grooves of the Gang of Four and Talking Heads as last call makeout jams, FF made Flirty a post-punk appellation to strive for. Frontman Alex Capranes with a mercenary shag hound of the highest order, wooing girls and boys alike with Dada come-ons like, you can feel my lips undress your eyes. I don't know how I feel about that second half of that blurb, but the first half, yeah, definitely influenced by Gang of Four. Definitely hear some Talking Heads in there. And there is definitely songs that are, I mean, it is, at least bi-curious, if not bisexual. I think they've released albums since then, but I have not listened. I think they got more directly dance influence. I haven't listened to them yet. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good album. And Take Me Out, I mean, it definitely makes sense that it's one of those songs where like it shifts parts of the way through, and it's one of those like killer shifts. We can move on to the next band on our list. And I've been thinking about this, what to say about this band since we last recorded. This entry would either take a single line or it would take us the rest of the recording.
Are you talking about the next band?
Yeah, number 45 on our list.
Sitting here, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. Like I've been sitting here thinking about nothing but the next band that we're about to introduce.
Yeah, number 45 on this list is the album Repeater by the band Fugazi, released in 1990.
Life-changing. Completely so dorky of me. We cannot condense all that I have to say about this band. This album in particular is my favorite album, but I'm going to try to. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to let you talk first.
Okay, best band of all time. My favorite band of all time.
Your favorite too, really and truly?
Yeah, truly.
We've talked about it, but I don't believe, because I feel like
when we first met, I think we were talking about it ended up coming up, and we both said it was our favorite band.
Okay, yes, you're right. But I never really believed that, because you love so many bands, and knowing that you have so many bands that you love and listen to, that's saying even more. That's your favorite band too. It's our favorite band. And what's your favorite album by them?
I mean, this is the first one I listened to, but I think it's Red Medicine.
Okay, interesting.
I actually watched a couple nights ago. I watched Instrument documentary, so I was hearing some of the fans. It's so bad, or it's like sold out. Which is just the funniest band to talk about like that with. First heard this in high school. I was into hardcore punk. I've already listened to Minor Threat, and then I found out that he had a band after that called Fugazi, and I thought it was so cool.
Yes. So you knew about Minor Threat first, even though you're younger than me, because I remember learning about Minor Threat. Did you like Minor Threat, or were you?
Yeah, I mean, I was really into. I never was
officially straight edge, but I didn't drink or do drugs in high school or anything.
Same,
So like,
same.
so it was unintentionally straight edge. But
Kind of same. I mean, I did write the X's on my hand. I was kind
mhm,
of like, I am straight edge, but I wasn't preachy and all my
yeah.
friends did drugs and stuff. I was
Um,
also straight edge.
I do remember listening to on like my or like home computer off those like, terrible computer speakers because I think about some of those other high school students.
The ones who were both annoying and boring.
Also, like it was Catholic school that I went to through 10th through 12th grade. The song "Filler" by Minor
Yes.
Threat definitely. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a band that's also at least like with Minor, not necessarily anti-religion, but I was like going through like I think with like, atheism and so something like, oh yeah, this is a band like
Yeah.
like a song about I guess losing a friend because they end up like
You end up just having a
becoming
girlfriend instead.
no yeah like your brain is clay. What's going on? You picked up a Bible and now you're gone. I mean, Out of Step by Minor Threat is so good as well. There's complete discography that has Minor Threat and Fugazi are both very direct about what their some of their albums are or some of their releases that aren't albums are.
Right?
Like complete discography for Minor Threat is the complete discography. First two sevens on a 12 is their first two sevens on a 12. Out of Step, I think, is either Minor Threat or Out of Step is my favorite Minor Threat song.
Yes.
And then I heard Fugazi, and then it was only later that I went back and listened to
It's the
Rites of
spring.
Spring. Yeah.
Yes, which they're my favorite. I never really got into Minor Threat again. For me, Fugazi is the whole package. It's kind of interesting that Ian McCaig was able to move on and dispense with Minor Threat because it was such a movement. There was nothing like it that moralistic. It defined a moral paradigm for young people. It's also been criticized, obviously, for being sexist, this idea of no girlfriends and whatever. But then they went on to have these, well, and it says that in the little blurb. Should I read the little blurb real quick?
Sure.
Okay. DC punk activists so ethical they make Ralph Nader look like Akon. In 80s straight edge bomb throwers, Minor Threat. Ian McKay shouted vein popping jeremiads against drinking, drugs, conformism, even sex. His equally strict adult band, Fugazi, took on corporatism, but with a nuanced introspection, as elastic as their moody punk. Some head scratching goes nicely with the fist slamming. That's one of the more encouraging little blurbs.
Yeah, I think it's one of the great description of it is an adult band. It is like a grown up
And
or
it's
grown up
not heavy-handed. It
yeah.
hints at, I mean, there are some songs about Lockheed Martin, and there's
Song is actually also a not love, I mean to say love, like a romance song too.
yes,
I think a lot of Rites of Spring is brought into it.
yes.
So like, at first, because I was like, I don't know about these Gee songs, but then I was, oh yeah, these Gee's so good.
Gee songs. They're my
uh,
favorite. Gee Pachoto. I
uh,
think that there was just this perfect combination.
yeah,
And then can we talk about the rhythm section?
yeah.
The rhythm section is one of the best of, to me, of the hardcore scene. It's like it's got almost this driving rhythmic, these very simple, very full bass lines. And then you've got Guy Picciotto with this Rickenbacker is kind of this more trebly sound, and then the growly sounds of Ian McKay. It's just such a perfect band. I just say enough about how well it works.
It works.
And so Repeater, the album, I'd say to me, I think it's its strongest. It's a great introduction. I don't know what song we would put on our list. Maybe Repeater itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the song it could be a good
Could be anything.
merchandise. I think could be good because it like
Yeah.
of sort of a descriptics of the band. The merchandise keeps you in line. Do you want to tell about the shows, how much the shows cost, or how much the albums
That's another thing.
were?
Yes, because the political messaging that was sort of underlying all of their lyrics, this band also just, as they said in the documentary Instrument, which I think is on YouTube, maybe it's free. So, I mean, I've seen them 3 times. The tickets were never more than $8. It was always all ages. So you're not excluding younger generations. The albums themselves, affordably priced to this day. In an interview, they were asked, what sort of political groups do you support, or what is your sort of overall ethos? And they would say, well, you can look at the money that we donate and the shows that we play and the benefit concerts that we do throughout their lives. They were always trying to be a force of good in the world and helpful.
Yeah, a lot of the concerts or the pieces that shown in the documentary were throughout their history were raising money for local organizations in the DC area.
Yes, local. Mm-hmm.
They were supported pro-choice, like abortion clinics, and they were making their city and their the region better by picking around their music. But yeah, I'd never seen the documentary, so until
You hadn't?
Yeah, it's my first time seeing it.
It's great, right?
Yeah, so my mom was there too. It didn't start in the best way for a mom to be watching it because it started mid-performance. The instrumental, sort of the noisier instrumental.
Shut the Door. I love that's one of my favorite songs, which is on that album.
Yeah, so I was trying to sort of explaining. I mean, because we were watching at night too, so she was starting to fall asleep. She was pretty tired, so
she was like, "Shut up."
I was saying like, "Oh yeah."
Not...
I think it does. Because I mean, it was cool seeing them and play it because it's kind of like a experimental documentary. It's like
Jim
there's no talking heads. There's some interviews where where you hear them talking. Like there's one interview like by some middle school,
a little kid interviewing that. I love it so much. Yeah, he uses a lot of Super 8 and kind of archival footage of them. Yeah.
And then he traveled with the band, so there's footage of them at different the hotels.
Yes, worse. Where they're having to use bars of soap to prop up the shower heads. So
someone who's tall, so it would actually go out far enough so you'd actually take a shower.
And can I say 2 pieces of news? I mean, it's kind of old news at this point. Well, first of all, Guy Picciotto married Kathy Wilcox from Bikini Kill. They have a kid now. Did you know that?
I think you might have told me before.
Yeah, I'm sure I've talked about it. And then also, Brendan Canty, the drummer, and Joe Lally, the bassist, are in kind of like a jazz fusion prog band that's on Impulse Records, which is John Coltrane's, the label that all his stuff is on. They're in this jazz fusion band now. Did you know that? Called the Aesthetic.
I think you told me about.
I think I told you about it too because
I think you told me about it when didn't they stay at your house or something?
Yes, they've stayed at our house, and then we've seen them. And they're Joe Lally is such a sweet person. I saw him at Big Ears. You couldn't have recognized me, really. We've only met a handful of times, but he came up to me and was like, "How are you, Courtney?" And my kid, who he hadn't seen since they were baby. I mean, they're just such good people. Yeah. That's rare in this day and age.
Finding that they were jazz fusion band isn't necessarily surprising because in some ways Fugazi is a jazz band.
Right, that's true.
Particularly The Argument, their final album. So Well Prepared, I did actually listen to the ones I hadn't really heard because I hadn't listened to all their studio albums. There are a couple that I had missed or just had biggest bit of priority while I was buying stuff on disc. Because I mean, I have bought from Discord records. I bought some CDs. I also bought some of the records from Discord.
Some records.
I have a couple of these on vinyl and other ones CD because I ended up buying a different band I don't think they're on this list, but another Discord band, Jawbox, that started the DC scene, but then went onto a major label after that, and then it was one of the ones that just did not work out on a major label. They reunited, I think, a couple of years ago, and I don't know how many years ago it was now, but I think it happened around the pandemic, so it wasn't the best timing. I mean,
can the listener hear the excitement in our voices?
We are very excited to talk about. I mean, we could talk about all of the live recordings that are now available. Almost every show, I think, at this point is available. And before it was only now it's available on Bandcamp. If someone wants to look up a particular show, it's probably on Bandcamp for purchase for a reasonable rate.
That's right.
If Courtney ever wants to listen to the shows she went to,
I know I have listened to shows that I've been to. Yes. And totally. And the one that Shane went to on the tour where it was canceled in Tallahassee because of the venue. Because they would play these kind of more affordable venues, and you can
Yeah.
always just approach them and go up to the stage. And
Speaking of that part, 'cause I also watched a documentary about their opposition to slam dancing and demoshing.
oh yeah, which is very pertinent to the whole, is it Astro World, where a bunch of people died?
Yeah.
What's that guy's
Yeah.
name?
Travis Scott,
Travis Scott. So people have been compiling footage of Green Day.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yes, thank you. Calling out people for hurting members of the audience and just showing how easy it is. And that was something Fugazi was known for, is keeping the crowd safe, stop playing to make sure that nobody's getting.
In the documentary, they show people, sort of like the people waiting in line, but there are part where they interview some of the, I can't remember which show. I think maybe it was in one of the ones in like Tennessee or something, like Knoxville. It was like, oh man, it's so PC of them. We're supposed to like just dance and having a good time.
Not allowed to dance.
Yeah. The people's like complaints are like, oh, they're so much better before. Or it takes until something else come out for the puck out and be like, oh yeah, it's a classic, but oh, they were shit talking at the time.
Totally.
Difference with Red Medicine, but it's the sound of a band that wasn't standing still.
Well, they just got better studio
they never
equipment.
want. That's one of the things about Miniseries is they never wanted to stand still.
Right.
And because they learned how to produce themselves, they could do with it. When Study Diet of Nothing, the first one they self-produced.
No. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, and it was difficult for them. I don't know, the Red album, the first album, I don't know if they produced that one themselves or not.
I think it was.
Look that up.
Yeah, because I think it would say Diet of Nothing, because I think that's sort of that being a. It was the first one they produced and mixed themselves.
Yeah, and they had a hard time. And then, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Talk about that the mix ended up being not as good of them not being able to say, hey, let's turn that down or turn that up, or
right. Ted Nicely and the engineer Don, I can't say his name, Zientara. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of tough names.
There are, including Guy, which is spelled like guy.
I spelled like guy, and I'm not even. I tried before. I was like, okay, can I say his last name out without? And then some people say Ian McKay, Ian Mackay. I think they're both right.
Yeah. I always said McKay.
I always say McKay too. If I've been saying this wrong, 13 songs, or like the Red album, like Repeater, Say That of Nothing, and on the Kill Taker has some of the great, and they have a lot of great album covers too.
They did have a lot of great, and they did the artwork. Apparently, worked with friends.
Or did they like find the cover in on the Kill Taker? Wasn't it just like a graph they like found on the street or something?
Right, I think you're right. Yes, I love that album.
Yeah, Smallpox Champion, one of their
that was like
political songs. It's so catchy too.
Yep.
Probably need to move on. Number 44 on the list is the compilation "Wanna Buy a Bridge" from 1980 on Rough Trade. It was like out of print at the time, and it's not on the streaming services. I had to, because I do want to listen to everything that's on here. So I actually put together a playlist so I could listen to it.
Okay. Oh, good idea. Good.
Yeah, because it's on YouTube Music or YouTube or whoever.
It's got the raincoat.
Yeah, it has a lot of great bands on it, and some like not very good bands.
Yeah.
Some ones that it's like I don't like this.
Who are the not good and who are the good in your opinion? We could just be real.
Okay, yeah, because let's quickly.
The Slits are great, right? We can all agree.
I didn't like the song they included on there.
I like Essential Logic. Let me tell you what. You may not know who that is, but they're great, and I really like them.
Because I had heard about the Slits for years and years, including on the song mentioned in a song by a band that's been on this list before. But Man Next Door is like 7 minutes long. It is really reggae, and
it's a slog.
I was not. That's the song. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't include something that was like more. This a slog. To realize that I don't like other songs by them, but yeah, that's not my. They had the ring. Yeah, there's a song here from a band we previously covered, Young Marble Giants, Scritty Politti, Cabaret
They might be Giants.
Young Marble Giants. Right. Yeah, with the
who we've talked about.
Yeah, Television Personalities. Stiff Little Finger.
Not to be confused with Television, which I would often.
When I was
younger.
I think part-time punks, I think they influenced like a more recent song, the topic of this and like the name, because there's a song Plimsoll Punks by Always, just Canadian
Mhm.
female-fronted indie band from like the 2010s. It's a cool compilation. I mean, I guess I wish it was still available, but I guess today it's so, I mean, compilations are so, to relate to the kids, yeah, compilations were like playlists, but like actually had, gave you a chance to listen to different bands. You could buy a CD and like and find out what, you know, which bands were good or not before you bought them.
Yes,
Um,
totally, which we don't need anymore, so they're not as
okay, I'll read it. The 14 Commandments of Post-Punk. Long out of print, hunt down on the web. This survey of circa 1980 post-punk singles is a magnificent snapshot of radical sounds, off-center grooves, and earnest politics. The singing voices alone are a survey of alien beauty. Which ones do you like not remember, or which ones do you remember? I guess whichever you feel like.
oh, a lot of them. Stiff Little Fingers, Swell Maps, the pop group. I don't know either any of those. That's from the side one. And then on
Mhm.
side two, I don't know Kleenex, and I don't know Scritti Politti or Robert Wyatt.
It's definitely like a mix of things that. 'Cause I don't know how many of these had full albums. How many of them are just like only had a couple songs.
Ah, Kleenex
Um,
is Swiss, by the way. I have no
yeah,
idea.
I don't really think of big bands
I,
that often.
no, you don't. And I had a long conversation with a person from Switzerland about how there is no culture other than like neutrality. And what's the thing from the Ricola commercial? He was like, we really do feel kind of devoid of culture and we're trying to find ourselves. He was a musician within that. And I was, oh, that's so interesting because that feels somehow relatable or in a way.
Yeah,
Being from Florida or something. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know. There's a
I
Florida
mean,
culture, but it's
yeah.
just
There's a Florida culture. I mean, there's like Florida cultures. So there's like depends on where. Yeah,
maybe North Florida. Maybe that's how I felt. It's like there's
yeah.
no North Florida
I
culture.
guess it sort of yeah it depends on what coast you're on a little bit, and then
Right.
what percentage are because there's so many tourists. Because one thing is what my mom would always say is there's so many people just don't stick around. They'll be here for a couple of years and they'll leave.
Yes, no one
So there isn't the same.
stayed.
And like
We're
now, I mean,
comparing Switzerland and Florida right now.
yeah, it's a very different.
Different topography,
Yeah.
history, overall vibe.
Um, number 43 is the album Damage from Black Flag from 1981.
And I like
mean,
to pretend that I listen to Black Flag, and it's always been in my life, and it's always been. But I don't really listen to them.
is
I'm
there
a fake punk,
a
basically.
Black Flag sticker on, on your car?
Totally. Like I think I had a poster up, and I was like, but I don't really. It's more of a
Yeah,
been more of
I
a poser.
I really only listened to this one and the ones before it. I just heard how much they became more like metal and kind of slower, and I was like, that doesn't really sound appealing to me. But I did listen to the album after this because they couldn't release anything for like a couple of years there because there was like some label BS. In some ways, prefer the album before Henry Rollins.
I'm
The
gonna
like
say, are you
the
Rollins
releases.
era or
I
Jen?
prefer because I like the first release. I mean, I like the first breakdown. I really like the Circle Jerks, so that's way closer to that. But they still had that
Yeah.
when they had their original vocalist.
Is that Morris?
Yeah, Morris. Yeah,
Okay.
and then they released Jealous Again with a singer who they had fallen out before they even released it. They like
Right.
gave him a
And
like
that's the guy who is in Decline of Western Civilization, right?
yeah.
That's okay. And he's
Jealous Again, the song, which is a really fucked up song.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
kind of get where the root of it from, but it's still I would beat you up. Well, because like the cops would get me
right.
for doing it. It sounds like a very toxic relationship. I mean, I have Jealous Again. Yeah, damn it. The earlier stuff sounds better. Like, it was better produced, more clearly written. So random Henry Rollins thing. So my mom and I have been watching Unsolved Mysteries, and he actually appears in an
Yes.
episode. There
Who
was like
does?
Henry Rollins.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Let me look this up.
his roommate, his friend, was murdered. They were being mugged.
Right.
And he gets murdered.
That's right. I heard about this on I think social media recently and was
It was really crazy.
Joe
Like,
Cole.
yeah, no, I mean they were coming back from like a late night grocery trip, and like they were.
Changed his life, Henry Rollins' life.
I'm
And
sure it was released on SST Records, which Greg Ginn of Black Flag started. A lot of their releases on there, not a great label as far as like how well it was run.
right.
I was looking for if I could. I think there's some other Black Flag album, maybe like a live album or something. That I was trying to figure out because I remember one of my friends in the car. She played like some Black Flag song. We were coming back from a concert because we drove drove from like Sarasota to Orlando
Oh,
to see Guided by Voices when they reunited.
no.
So like on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. So we drove back and it was like 2, 3 or something in the morning driving back. That was a crazy. That's the most beer I've ever gotten to myself in a show by far.
The most
I don't know if it's
what?
about Florida. The most beer.
Oh yeah.
The people were like throwing beer, like these were like throwing beer up in
Ugh,
the air. So we both got like soaked with beer, and like that's the only time.
so gross.
Every other like no, I've never. I don't know if that was just. I don't know if it's like an Orlando thing or if it's just like that age of group of the people thing there. But like it's never had to happen in like Asheville or like anywhere else. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that is that's an 80s punk kind of trope of just the beer in the air, the
yeah.
beer in your hair, the beer raining down on you. It's annoying.
I mean, about the relationship between Black Flag and the LAPD.
Okay.
Police story, fans of Black Flag. I mean, because there's some different crowds within the hardcore scene. I mean, there's like the ones who were in it for because they love the music.
It
I mean,
attracted
it's one of the things that important things is that of just like talking about depression, about like feeling like
yes,
hopelessness.
totally.
Bands on the radio weren't going to be talking about like their depression and how like they wanted to.
Right. In a way, there was an emo element in terms of like just, it's not really traditionally emo any more than like suicidal tendencies, but there was a talk about mental health in a way. Disclosure.
A band very different from Black Flag in like pretty much every way, other than I guess both being good. Whose influence has been on basically everything on this list in some way or another. And also, one of our previous compilations we talked about, the one on the No Wave that comp having made, is Brian Eno with his album Another Green World. One of the great producers. There's a lot of genres that just exist, if not just because like the bands that he produced or that were influenced by him. The blurb they mentioned post rock. I mean, I guess I definitely hear more of the beginning of ambient music in here, and like the movement he would go into making ambient albums, like the music for different, like the music for airports or for
Yes, absolutely. These are like songs. They have vocals.
It takes a while.
Great.
I was like, because I hadn't listened to it in a while. I was like, is this all instrumental? I was like, oh no, they're singing.
Yeah, totally. And what did you think? You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, it grows on you also. And you can hear elements of saturation of sound and very strange. And it sounds kind of like post-punk new wave, but it's early on.
Yeah, it's 1975. It's before.
Yeah,
it's like it's
before all
post-punk as punk, like the beginnings of punk. So I've never really listened to Roxy music, so I haven't really.
No, I have. I don't like it. I know that's weird.
I'll have to I'll have to more to see his work with the Talking Heads with David Byrne. I mean, that's big to Bell music. They work together. I guess I'll read the blurb and then we'll have to move on. I mean, Brian New will come up again, I'm sure, like at some point.
Yeah, of course.
A future episode. The beginnings of post-rock. Former Roxy Music star Eno started pushing the boundaries of songs, music, and ambient sound. His third studio album, including only 5 explicit songs with vocals, the rest of it played with instrumental timbre and rhythmic stasis, clearing a path for the entire post-rock movement's fascination with rich sonics. Number 41 on this list is the band Modest Mouse with their second album, The Lonesome Crowded West, from 1997. This is another album that made me realize, oh yeah, this is bands. For some, this is Push is their favorite album, but like I prefer some of the albums that followed. But I think the reason this is on here is because it's the one it's when they were still on an indie.
Right.
Because the Moon in Antarctica was their debut album on a major, and it was on Epic Records. And yeah, this is one of like the first indie bands that I was into. I loved Isaac Brock's like deranged vocal delivery, the choice of the subject matter, the music. While preparing this, I was trying to think who influenced them. I was like, because I never thought about it because it was so influential for me. It's like, where did this actually come? Like, who influenced them? Because I know like it's a West Coast band. They started in Washington, and this was their breakthrough album. I mean, because I'd heard, and for this I also listened to their debut album for the first time in many years. This is A Long Drive with Nothing to Think About.
Yes.
I forgot how long that one was. It was like CD era length. This album was that long.
Washington. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I learned about them while I was in Washington. The one place I lived that wasn't Georgia or Florida.
I mean, because Float On became like a hit song, it both sounds more positive than basically any of the other songs. But it's
Yes.
still, sometimes I can see like a sellout, but it's not really.
No.
It's not a sellout of their other sound, and they're not. It really fits. Definitely one of my favorite songs of all time, and
Yeah.
I love that album. They reunited back around 2014, which I saw them at Shaky Knees in Atlanta because they were like the headlining bands. And I know they've released new music since then, but I've not listened to it.
Right.
But I've recently ended up seeing the set because I was on Setlist FM, so I've been getting like recommendations to look at things from Setlist, from their set
Yeah.
list. I actually have been following some of their set lists recently just to see what albums they've been playing from. They're like Radiohead in the sense of like they don't keep the same. It's like there's a lot of like rotating in and out of songs. Some nights they'll play Float On, some nights they won't. They'll play more from the first album or more from throughout their. I enjoyed this chance to. It's like after seeing them, I didn't really listen to that much of them for a long time. It's been a good chance to get back into it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
No,
that
it made me want to get back into it also because it's been,
Yeah.
I mean, years since I listened to them.
Yeah. Actually, one more thing about them before we move on to our
Ye-
final band of this episode is that I heard a song by them. I think from this album when I was visiting the college I ended up going to.
Yeah, yeah.
The student run cafe.
Oh,
And as part of what I was, bro. I mean, not just the music, but also the experience of being there. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to. This is a school I want to go to.
yes.
The final band for today is a band that I know Courtney knows a lot about.
Although they call it New Odor, but
Yeah.
it's not. New Order. Yes, Power, Corruption, and Lies, Factory Records. I'm going to read 1983. That's right. World-changing disco punk jams. The remaining members of Joy Division bounced back from Ian Curtis's suicide and made a beeline from the funeral home to the club. Ouch. I haven't read this yet. Their moody guitars, hopeful synths, and nasty disco beats influenced thousands of dance bands, but few of them have come close to the pathos in Bernard Sumner's voice, which cracks with promise. That's a great way of putting it. Bernard did not want to be the singer, but there was no one left to do the job. And this was a band, Joy Division, that was just cresting in their their artistic contributions and their output. And then suddenly the lead singer of the band sadly commits suicide, and these members are left feeling aimless, despondent. You would think they would just pack it up because Ian Curtis was the writer for this incredibly influential band, and he was the basis of their whole thing. You wouldn't have thought they would go on to be amazing, but they were, and they did. And I could just talk and talk about them, but I know we're running low.
Yeah, I listened to a lot more of Joy Division than New Order.
Me too, but that changed like 2 years ago. And this album is unbelievable. And I can't recommend it highly enough. I like it better than Joy Division now. Can I just say that? I know that's not. So Blue Monday is an additional track. It wasn't on the original release. As the guy from the Pet Shop Boys said, it was like, who knew that a bunch of heterosexual, just working class people from Manchester could make this incredible club hit that sounds just as modern and relevant today as it did in 1983, using like I don't know much about electronics, using like a floppy disk and God knows. And so, but they did it. They did a good job, and it's a good time. Will, I lost you. Will, are you there? Hey.
Yeah,
Do you have
sound of post-punk becoming a dance.
Yeah, check out New Order. I mean, and that,
yeah.
it's
I
good.
mean,
It's
I listened because
synthy.
a couple months ago, I think right before we were starting this podcast, I was like getting really into this album, and then like to their first release of the collection of their singles.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's it for today.
Yes.
Until next time.
Until next time, I'll see you then.
You can reach us at Yearendlesspodcast at gmail.com. All music is courtesy of Shane Parrish. Until next time, for my co-host Courtney, I'm William, signing off from the Tar Heel State.